That bike actually started in my life. I think I was 7, maybe 8 years old. I grew up in Altona, and the local co-op store sold Honda motorcycles. So there was no Harley dealers, no Indian dealers, even though my father rode a Harley. But there were a lot of Hondas. Walking to school every day, I saw that dream in the window. And I told myself, I'm going to grow up one day, and that's going to be my bike. I'm 58 years old, I'm grown up. Finally. But there's more to that bike, actually. I don't know if you guys know, but I recently got married, and the club is where I met her.
At the rally.
2 years ago. So when I bought the bike, I wasn't going to buy it because we had the wedding expenses. Now here's another dream. She said, "You're crazy. You've wanted it your whole life. Get on the plane, go get it." So I got 2 dreams in one. Anyway, when I picked up the bike, the bike was on Kijiji for almost 4 months with a really crappy little picture. Turns out this guy knew how to restore motorcycles, but he did not know how to use a computer. So he had one picture that was submitted by a little iPhone, and it was a crappy picture with a bunch of other stuff mounted on the bike for whatever reason, and it never sold, it never sold, it never sold. I looked at about 5 dreams in 5 years, and all of them were, yeah, they could be restored, but they were too much work. This bike kept coming up on Kijiji for a few weeks, going away, coming up, the same photo, the same thing. I kept sending him an email saying, I want to see more photos. I kept getting a reply saying, I don't know how to do that. And anyway, I bought an iPad mini, and you get to expand pictures. When I blew the picture up as big as I could, the little polished aluminum cover on the side of the engine case, you could see the photographer in it, and I knew there's something special about this one. So I finally phoned him. He kept on sending me, call me, call me, call me. And it turns out he had an iPhone and I had an iPhone, and I taught him over the phone how to take pictures of the bike, of the parts that I wanted to see. And through that, I ended up with about 12, 13 photos of the bike, and then I got to see what it was really like. And so we talked for quite some time, and he told me what he had done with this bike. He had originally bought the bike 13 years ago and started the restoration 13 years ago and worked on it till June of last summer. And the bike was originally being built to give to his son for his 16th birthday. And his son said, "Oh, I want a sport bike." So I basically bought him a sport bike for the dream. I got it at a fraction of the cost. I have receipts for more than I actually paid for the motorcycle. I think I'm very fortunate. I had it in the back of my mind ever since I was a child, and I never actually got a good dream. There's lots of dreams available, but they were all really, really rough shape. And when I found this one, I just had to have it. But I had to change the wiring. It didn't work. I could ride it away, but nothing else worked. I had to work on the clutch. There were a lot of things that I had to do to it. But it's outside now. I'm riding it. As a matter of fact, I've been riding it all week on my vintage plate. I'm testing. Anyway, I love the bike. I've always loved Hondas. So now I have the bike that got me into motorcycling in the first place. I'm restoring a Honda 90 right now, which has been in the works for about 2 years. I'm finally getting to the stage where I should be painting within a few weeks and starting to assemble. That's the very first clutched motorcycle I ever rode, and I am looking for a Cup, C100 Cup, because that is the first motorcycle I ever rode. So if anybody's got a Cup that they want to pass on, just call me. But anyway, that dream was, that's the bike that really, really got me going. 7 or 8 years old, just every day, my tongue was scraping across that glass. And, now I have it at home.
Thank you very much.